The only source of knowledge is experience. Albert Einstein. My friends, get your knowledge through your experience, 10 to 15 minutes each and every day studying these charts with us. We see everything down for the day and down big except for bonds. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. We, of course, last week had a nice little run up in a trade there that worked out well for us. A good practice trade up around 2.32%. Things topped out, rolled down, and we're just pushing back into negative territory. Going to give us the ability, if things keep going this way, to do some short trading again. And of course, what do you look at for short trading? Well, you would go to SH. Now, we track it on our regular chart, but I just want to show you that training we put in the show notes yesterday on the inverse funds, how to make money when markets crash. This is the single short of the S&P 500. You can see it's getting close to pushing through its 200 EMA going up. It is a short fund, an inverse fund that moves inversely to the underlying ETF, which is the S&P 500. Again, the fees are more. It's something you need to practice trade. You can see the price is significantly lower, very significantly lower than the S&P that's trading about $405 a share. This is $15, but it's set up not based on its amount per share, but based on the fact that it is run and set up with derivatives and such to actually react percentage change, so that when the S&P goes down 1%, SH goes up 1%. So just something for you to keep in your quiver. It's a way to make money in your practice trades, see successful practice trades when the market's going down. You don't just have to stand on the sidelines. Again, just something else to put in the quiver. Of course, if you are a Patreon member, then you get that three-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. First thing you get as a Patreon member, any of the three levels. Keep that in mind if you want to support what we do here for free every day. Look at the 2-day. It too is pushing through, trying to, at least the wick is, the 200 EMA. It's still green, hasn't turned red yet. We look at the weekly. It is green, but again, a red down candle for the week after many weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of up movement. So we'll keep our eye on things and see where the markets are heading, down 3.38%. Now, what about the Nasdaq 100? It is down 4.10%, and it has slammed down through the 200 EMA on the half-day chart. We had a little bit of a trade there. Didn't go up as much as we wanted it to. Cashed out with about 1% or so in that practice trade last week. We look at where the 2-day is. Look at that, just blowing on through. Still green on the STC, but that may be going to red soon. And on the weekly, we can see where a down week, things had bounced off back in June, had bounced off the 200 EMA on the weekly chart, representing 400 weeks of movement. Wasn't ready to cross through that yet. Bounded up for several weeks, 5 weeks, and then really moving down this week, particularly sawing off a lot of that interest at the end of the week. Now let's look at where things are on our only bright spot, and this is 20-year bonds. We went from red to green on the STC on this half-day chart. Now we're below the 200 EMA. Our rules are we don't go long when we're below this trend line. This is an exponential moving average representing 200 periods of time. For this, it would be 100 days because this is our half-day chart, or 195 minutes. That's actually representing what half of the market is. Remember, market opens at 9:30 in the morning, closes at 4. So it's 195 minutes per. We don't just put in any number. We put in exactly what it is. So we see this moving up now for 2 days. and we'll wait, watch, and see. We look at where things are on the half day, still pegged going down, still red. We look at the weekly. It is green, but again, keep in mind that we've had 3 weeks now of accelerating downward movement, and we are well below the 200 EMA on that weekly chart. So we'll just wait, watch, and see. Hope that we're going to get ourselves set up for something. We want to see this green push on through this middle band here. And then if things do rotate over going down in the near future, we want to be able to capture that, unless, of course, things go way up and go long. In the past, before COVID and all the inflation and things we've seen here recently, which has changed so much, I feel like, in the marketplace, typically bonds were sort of the safe haven when stocks went bad. You expected bonds to go up when stocks were struggling. Well, we haven't seen that as much as I feel like as we historically have seen. We do see that happening today. Now, it didn't shoot up anything crazy, just 0.75% versus the Nasdaq going down 4.1%, the S&P going down 3.38%, and we will move on to something like gold. Now, gold, which again, one looks at as a safe harbor, a place where money might go. Well, not today. Gold hammering down 1.22%. Now, it is well below the 200 EMA. Was green, has turned to red heading down. And again, we like to see things reset by the green moving up. When we go from red to green, we like to see it move up to the top and then roll over like we saw last week when we garnered that 1.58% down move. Then, of course, things have reversed, moving back down, not much of a reversal at all, sort of pegging out again where they hit last time. So don't know if we're going to move down below that or not. So we are negative again on the half-day STC, still green on the 2-day, and again, things bottoming out about the same place. And we look at the weekly, and of course, we had 2 weeks of nice up movement, now 2 weeks of down movement, still red on the STC, so gold is still sort of shaking out for us. We'll see where it shakes out and where it ends up going. Let's go lastly to Bitcoin. Let me move this up and spread these charts out a little bit so we can see some of this price movement a little better. We're well below the 200 EMA on this half-day chart, and we can see where things had moved and bumped up, and then over the last couple of weeks, man, really moving down. We look at the STC. Where do we see that? Of course, it is negative and down for the day 5.15%. Look at the 2-day. Again, some strong red down candles. Haven't hit this low of around $18.20 or so, somewhere in that 18 plus mark. Haven't hit that yet, but we do have a lot of downward pressure. That's on the 2-day. And on the weekly, after 4 weeks of decent up movement, these last 2 weeks have been accelerating down. So again, nothing much to do in Bitcoin. We are releasing for you this afternoon, charting crypto for the week. We think you'll find that extremely helpful. Of course, you get it on Wednesdays if you are a Patreon member. And again, we appreciate the Patreon members for all their support, for all the expenses we have at the channel. It gets expensive to run a channel like this, and we appreciate the help and support of our Patreon members. If you appreciate what we do here, you can help too. Remember, the things you support tend to stick around. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.